So today I have swatches of the KBShimmer Throwback collection. There are 8 polishes here altogether, which are fan favorites from 2012 and 2013 that KBShimmer is re-releasing in celebration of their 10-year anniversary this year. So these are available right now, so I will link the KBShimmer website down below. 8 polishes altogether, and I will get into the swatches. So the first polish is called Clown Puke, and this is a super chunky rainbow glitter topper in a clear base. There are lots of different shapes in here, all fairly large, not something that you really see that often anymore. And a lot of these rainbow glitters are also holographic. And I'm swatching this over OPI's Andean Culture Club, which is one of the Ulta exclusives from the Peru collection. So this is one coat. Now I don't think, gosh, I can't even remember the last time I swatched like a chunky glitter like this. These don't apply like a normal polish. You kind of have to get your glitter on the brush. You can swipe a little bit, but there's going to be a lot of like dabbing and kind of very intentional placement of the glitter to get it to look okay. See, I've got like a few kind of overlapping there without smudging my base color because I'm not sure if it's fully dry. I'm just going to try to like scoot that. Yeah, that's not moving. Usually I would try to scoot that a little bit just so that everything's a little bit more evenly distributed. And you can see there are some smaller glitters in here too. That's really good in a polish like this because it helps fill the spaces between the large glitters. You couldn't have like all large glitter because the polish would get really thick and really difficult to apply. But with those little ones in there, it doesn't look so sparse. And obviously these glitters are going to stick to the nail like crazy, and you're going to want top coat to smooth everything out. This is like old school indie stuff right here. So that is one coat of Clown Puke. So the next polish is called Teal, Another Tale, and this is this kind of seafoam green. I don't know, it looks like it's glitter-ish. There's definitely made up of little particles in there, but it doesn't look like a glitter. And then also has a pretty strong pink shimmer to it. And a few little holographic sparkles in there as well. So this one is a little bit sheer on that first coat, but when I first swatched this, I was actually pretty surprised at how well it did cover considering like what kind of polish it is and the finish and everything. I know I've heard of some of these polishes that are in this throwback collection, but I'm not sure if I've ever tried any of them before. So this has a really good formula on it as well. So this one does cover completely for me in 2 coats, but I do feel like if you have a really white nail line, you might end up needing 3. And you can see it does dry fully matte, and while I would put top coat on this to wear it out, like for sure, I do think it looks pretty cool matte as well. I think anything with shimmer in it can benefit from a matte finish on occasion. So that is 2 coats of Teal, Another Tale. So because this is a throwback collection, depending how far we're throwing back, most indies were crelly or jelly glitter mixes. So the rest of these polishes fall into that category. This first one is Berry Patch. This has a slightly pink crelly base. It looks way more white on camera than it does in person, and that might be just because there's a lot of small pink glitter in here that gives it a little bit of a pink tint, but it's like slightly pink. A lot of smaller pink glitters, some silver holographic glitters, also very small, and then the larger ones in here are these almost navy blue looking hexes. So when I was swatching this, I had like some nails that I had a really hard time getting those big hexes out on. And then I had other nails that were like all hexes. So with I'm not going to try too hard in the video so you can kind of see how it would behave normally. But with polishes like this, sometimes you have to like, I would take these 2 off this nail. Okay, I guess I'm going to do it in this video. And then try to get them back on this nail, just so there's a little bit spread out for each nail. Like I've got 1 on my brush here. Oh, there were 3 there. Okay, so I'm just going to throw them on this nail. It makes for a little bit more annoying of an application, but that's just kind of how you have to work with these kind of polishes if you want them to pretty much look like all the swatches do. It takes a little bit of extra work. And that's not a flaw in the polish, that's really just the nature of these styles of polish, and maybe that's why we don't see them super often anymore. Although I do feel like they're starting to come back. So I spent so much time talking about the glitter, I didn't even mention the actual polish. I could see a little bit of nail line. There's been this fuzzy. I've tried to get it off like 4 times. I can see a little bit of nail line on this on the second coat. I think I did 3 for my swatch pictures, but I'm not really like feeling the need for 3 right now. And I am having to do a very, very minor amount of swirling the brush in the bottle just to make sure that I get some of those larger glitters out. And the formula on this one is really good as well. Those glitters are going to dry a bit textured and they are going to stick to the nail, so you're going to want a good top coat and maybe a peel off base coat if you don't want to really have to scrub them off. So I put like 0 effort into getting those larger navy glitters out on the second coat, so you can kind of see, you'll still get some if you don't like really try, but it is the kind of polish, and like I don't want to just like pound this point home that it's not a flaw in the polish, it's just the nature of these types of polishes, but you do have to put a little bit of effort into kind of picking those out and placing them where you want them. I didn't really try too hard on the second coat and I didn't get a lot of new ones, but somehow this nail ended up just loaded, so whatever. That is 2 coats of Berry Patch. So the next polish is called Iris My Case, and this is a really pretty light purple Crelly base with some purple, some pink, some blue, and some silver. They're all relatively small, nothing really big or heavy like in the last polish. So here is 1 coat. You can see this is a bit sheer, but you do get a good amount of that glitter out. Good formula on this one. I think if you did a really thick coat, well, you wouldn't want to do a really thick coat because I think it would, I'm trying to thin this one out because that's just a bad habit of mine, but I think it would pool a little bit to the sides of the nail if you do too thick of a coat. So this one is building up on that second coat. Actually, I don't know. I might only do 2. Take a good look at her. No, I'm going to do 3. It's pretty opaque, but I can make out my nail line a little bit. And that first coat did dry significantly more sheer than it applied. So I'm assuming the same thing's going to happen with the second coat, and I'll probably end up needing a third anyway. This is another one. All the polishes in this collection, well, all these next ones are going to be like this, where you're going to have to scrub some glitter off and you're going to want top coat to smooth everything out. So this one does cover completely in 3 coats. I think if you're not super picky, you could probably get away with 2 though, because I didn't find that it looked like, I mean, a little bit more sheer than it applied when it was wet, but not a ton, not as much as I was expecting it to, just based on that first coat. And I haven't had, because these are all smaller glitters, I haven't had to do any like brush manipulation or placement of glitters at all on this. So that is 3 coats of Iris My Case. The next polish is called Elle, and this is a gray Crelly base with light pink holographic silver and some little tiny white glitters in it. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat with a gray Crelly base like this. It does need to be a little bit sheer or you wouldn't be able to see any of the glitter. And since there are some larger glitters in here, it is going to take a little bit of that manipulation and that strategic placement to get everything to look spread out evenly, and good formula on this one as well. So this one does cover completely for me in 2 coats, but I can see where you might need 3 depending on your application if you do thinner coats or if you have a really, really white nail line. This is like all the other ones where you will definitely want top coat to smooth it out, but in addition to that, it does dry kind of dull on its own anyway. So that is 2 coats of Elle. The next polish is called No Whine Left, and this is a reddy purple jelly base with different sizes of blue and pink glitters. So you can see this base is a little bit more jelly-ish than the other ones were, less creamy, I guess. It is a darker color, so it is a bit streaky. You do get a good amount of glitter in there. I am having to just make sure I thin out my coats a little bit. And good formula on this one as well. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. And you can see that it does dry fully matte. With polishes like this, I don't really think I have any that are like this, but sometimes you can get some nails where there's some glitter like hanging off the edge of your nail, and all you really have to do is just do one of those numbers and push it back into place. I can see with this one where if you did thinner coats, you might end up needing 3. Or like this one, okay, this drives me nuts sometimes when this happens, because when this dries fully, you can't really get that with a cleanup brush. So I mean, I'll use a toothpick, but usually I'd use my other nail, but my nails in my non-swatch hand are kind of jacked, so I don't want to put those on display. So I'll just push these back a little bit and then just clean up that excess with a cleanup brush when I'm done. There's nothing worse than having glitter in the way of your perfectly clean cuticle line. So that is 2 coats of No Whine Left. The next polish is called Shipwreck, and this is a really deep teal jelly base. This is like packed with glitter in comparison to the other polishes that I've shown. I see little tiny orange glitters, a lot of green, some gold, and a little bit of blue as well. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat. A lot of glitter in here though. And some of that glitter, oh, that was a mess. Some of that glitter is holographic. I like stuck the brush. When I came back for the next swipe, the brush like went under my nail. And good formula on this one as well. It doesn't feel thick at all, which is kind of surprising for the amount of glitter that's in here. I'm even trying to like thin some of the glitter out so I don't have big, like concentrated, chunky areas of glitter. So the base on this one is still a little bit sheer on that second coat. If I put a lot of glitter on there, it does help cover it up, but there is still a little bit of lightness over here where the nail line is. And this one is also going to stick to the nail because it is a lot of glitter, and it is going to dry textured without a top coat. And it does seem like it's drying a little bit dull as well. So this one does cover completely in 3 coats. I think if you're not super picky, and you can see it does color gets a little bit deeper as well, but I think if you're not super picky, you might be better off with this one with 2, because there is a lot of glitter in here, and then you do have to add a coat of top coat, like a thick top coat, maybe even 2 coats if you want to smooth it out. And that can be a lot of polish. So if you are not like super picky about being able to see your nail line, if your nails are like right against your face, you might be better off here with 2, just to avoid all that buildup of polish once you have 3 coats of this and a big thick top coat. But it does look pretty nice in 3. So that is 3 coats of Shipwreck. And the last polish is called Geek, and this is a black jelly base with a ton of gold, copper, and silver glitters in various different sizes. Some extra tiny. So this one covers, I mean, it's a black jelly base. The jelly base is a little bit sheer. There is a lot of glitter in here, and it does cover pretty well on that first coat. There are some very large, not very large, but pretty big glitters in here, so you do have to do a little bit of manipulation if you want those spread out perfectly even. But you could also just go the however it lands is where it lands route. Good formula on this one as well, and this is going to dry chunky and textured like all the other ones with the large glitters would. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats pretty easily too. I think it'll be a good solid 2-coater for everybody. On this second coat here, I'm really not having to do any manipulation at all of the glitter. I tried it a little bit on the first coat, but second coat covers up the first coat anyway, so what's the point? And everything's going on pretty well with the just let things be strategy. So that is 2 coats of Geek. So because this is like a throwback collection, I did feel a little bit more drawn to the like old school indie style polishes. So I really like Iris My Case. It has rainbow glitter in it. It's acrylic with rainbow glitter, and these are always like very nostalgic of like old school indies. And then I also really liked Clown Puke, which is kind of like my hair wrapped all around it, because you don't see big chunky rainbow glitter toppers like this much anymore either, and this is like extra nostalgic. So those 2 are my favorites. So that is the KBShimmer Throwback collection. Again, I will link the website down below because those are available right now. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.